Boy Norbs, and this is the Bros Over Pros podcast. My boy Josh. So let me give you guys a brief intro about this. This is basically it's a sports show. All right, it's football season. I want to talk sports. I'm tired of venting to my wife about football, and so I said, you know what? Let me put the pressure on fans, and let me find somebody as miserable as me. So I really wanted a Giant fan. So I found my longtime friend Josh that I've known for over 20 years that loves the Giants, follows sports. So we're gonna be talking all types of sports, mainly right now the NFL or whatever's trending out there. But so that's the intro of that show. Josh, introduce yourself, man.
This is Josh, no Chino for over 20 years. I've been an avid sports fan, Giants, Knicks, Yankees. Now I'm getting into a little hockey. So
Hockey.
this is
I,
what
I,
I do. I watch sports, baby.
I never
And
been a hockey guy. I think that's like
yo, you have to watch it come playoff time and you will be like, yo, this sport
no, people
is
tell me
pretty
that
good.
shit all the time. Like people literally tell me about hockey all the time, and it's just between hockey and baseball. I know you're a big baseball guy. I just don't get it. Baseball is just boring. I sit
I
there.
know baseball can be boring, but I played baseball for a long time. So
No, you played in high school for
I
Utrecht.
played in high school. I played in college, so it's different when you watching it from a player's perspective than like a fan perspective.
No, no, 100%. I actually went to a couple of games back when you was in high school. So that it's definitely different, but I can't do it. But anyways, that's what the show's pretty much going to be about. We're going to be doing. I want to do a lot. I mean, it depends on Josh's schedule, but I want to do at least one live during the week. We catch up on certain things, and one episode we drop on Mondays or Tuesdays. I think it was weekly, discussing what transpired over the weekend. I mean, and we could start that off. What's up, Sheldon? We can start it off. What transpired this weekend? All right. Giants lose to Washington. We're 0-2. So let me give you. You know, I don't smoke, but I should smoke right now. I got this. But so I'm watching the game, and this is after the debacle of week one. Right. Week
Week
one was
one, week one was terrible. We we made Sam Darnold look like Joe
Montana.
Montana.
Montana. I was calling him Sam Favre. Like it was just, it, like what could have went wrong went wrong. Everything went wrong. Daniel looked lost. Like you already see, Daniel Jones is terrible. I'm sorry, Giants fans. I don't even
We've
know
been
who
on the
you
show
cheer.
for 3 minutes and we already got Daniel Jones is
100%.
terrible.
And nobody even knows about the trade. So we're gonna get that. Once it gets going, it's crazy.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Jones was absolute, insanely terrible week one. And I've always been a Daniel Jones supporter. I want him to do well. Did I want to draft him? No, I did not. But once he was a Giants quarterback, I wished for the best. He even started off pretty good. The first season, he threw 24 touchdowns, 12 picks. I'm like, oh shit. In 12 games, he threw 3,000 yards, I think it was. I mean, he had the turnovers with the fumble. I was ecstatic. Jason Garrett comes in. I don't know what he did to him for 2 years. Killed him. Brian Dable comes. We get to the playoffs. He looks like he's coming up, and then the following year looks lost after he gets a contract, right? So the roller coaster to me is insane with Daniel Jones. Then come this season, preseason week two, I think it was, we plays. He throws a pick six, like from the goal line. I don't know what he was thinking.
It was.
And,
And after that, I was like, "Oh, is this where we going again?
100%.
Like this is year 6. This is year 6, bro.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You
But
should not be making mistakes like that, even in the preseason."
no, 100%. And that's what my buddy Gerald McCoy said. Say this, he shouldn't be making mistakes. I'm like, bro, he hasn't played in over a year, whatever. I'm like, whatever. Which led me to why weren't they playing him all 3 preseason games? That's just me. We get to week one. Yeah.
That's the NFL thing. I heard somebody talk about it yesterday on ESPN. With the benching of Bryce Young.
Yeah.
He played one series in the preseason.
Yeah.
And after that terrible year he had last year, he played one series in the preseason. And then they expect him to go out there and be,
No,
this star.
it doesn't make sense to me, especially even with Daniel Jones. And I get the whole thing with the injury stuff, but dude, if he's not understanding stuff, if he's not, and there was reports coming back from camp, he was not playing well. These things, and I'm like, bro, let him work out the kinks. Week 1 comes, he was running into sacks because the offensive line actually played pretty good. He looked lost. He didn't look confident, and he just looked crazy. I mean, he was playing against Flores, who's a great defensive coordinator. I'll give him that. You know what
I
I'm saying?
believe
Mhm.
Dabo got out coached
No,
by Flores.
100%. He definitely got our coach, but also Daniel Jones looked like he was still not confident in what he's seen in front of him. He ran into sacks, didn't know what he was doing, but I expected that in regards to just coming back, right?
Right, coming back
People are
from injury.
killing him.
Right, they say it usually takes a year. So
Yeah, people are killing him. They're going crazy. I'm like, yo, I can't believe this. They need to get rid of him. I was on the same boat.
he
Week
couldn't
2,
even walk out of the stadium. They waited for him outside
yeah,
to boo him to
yeah.
his car.
Which shows I'm a Giants fan, and I hate going to games because of that element in regards to the Giant fans. Very classless. But week 2, I'm thinking, Danny, if you don't play good, they're gonna kill you, right? Daniel Jones actually plays pretty good week 2, and guess what? They're still killing him, right? And this is where I want to get to with the show today. They're killing Daniel Jones, right? He played well week 2. I think we had 3 scoring touchdowns, right?
Three visits to the red zone, 3
3
touchdowns,
touchdowns, 100%, right?
100%.
I mean, listen, we didn't light up the scoreboard, right? But think about it. As soon as the game started, we know when they say what goes wrong, whatever, keeps going, whatever. I forgot the goddamn saying. But anyways, Graham Gano on a kickoff, sprinting down, gets hurt. Right when that happened, I looked at my TV and I was like, oh man, this is gonna bite us in the ass later, right? Boom. We played a game. Daniel Jones is actually playing pretty good. The offensive line is blocking. They're not touching him. He's making throws to Malik Neighbors. Probably only to Malik Neighbors. He didn't really make any other throws to anybody else. Offensive line's playing good, but whatever. But anyways, let me backtrack. We kick off the ball. Gano gets hurt. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Now, the first drive, I was like, I turned to the TV. I was like, it's about almost 2 o'clock. We haven't even had the ball yet. They had like an 11-minute drive on the first drive.
The first drive was 16 plays.
Insane. How
for
many
Washington? 16 plays, 5 minutes and 24 seconds. And then we had the Devin Singletary 7-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That it was the second drive in the second quarter is what you're talking about.
Oh, I love it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I felt like I'm like, we're not having a ball, whatever. Now, we didn't have a kicker. We had to continue to go to 2-point conversions. Let's go through that game. Eventually, I think we're the first team to score 3 touchdowns, and the other team not score a touchdown and lose a game.
And lose the game. Yes, that is a real stat. I had to double check that stat.
100%. Now, this is where it kills me. Daniel Jones played well enough to win that game. Just being honest. He played well enough to win the game. We didn't have a kicker. Everything that can go wrong went wrong in that situation. But I turned on the media this whole week. You got to trade for Bryce Young. You got to get rid of Daniel Jones. He's just terrible. He can't put a team on his back. He can't do this. Guys, the difference between the NFL and the NBA is that you play both sides of the ball. Daniel Jones can't play defense. And let's point out the obvious problems right now with the Giants. Yes, Daniel Jones is not Patrick Mahomes, right? But you can't continue to bury this guy when he plays well, when in reality, Washington didn't punt the ball.
Not one punt.
Not one time.
I don't think I've seen a game in the NFL where somebody didn't punt.
Bro,
and didn't score touchdowns at the same time, which is like
it's insane. It wasn't like they were just lighting up the scoreboard. They just wouldn't get off the field. And I'm watching this game, and I'm just like, bro, I feel like I have not seen our offense on the field at all the entire game. I think I think they had the ball, what was it,
37 minutes.
37 minutes compared to our 23. 14, they had a quarter more of possessions. They're playing a rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels. People are going to say, oh, but we had 5 sacks. No, Jaden Daniels ran into those sacks. We didn't get no pressures. He was running out of pocket when making tackles.
Right. Those were on those read those read and react
Yeah,
plays where
yeah,
he kept it, and they
mhm,
were basically tackles for a loss.
yeah.
They,
Pretty
they,
much
they weren't sacks.
weren't getting pressure on him. Deontay Banks played pretty well. They weren't sitting there, but they just wouldn't get off the field. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, bro, like just watching the media, you would think Daniel Jones threw 10 picks, 50 yards, didn't do anything, and they're like, oh, do this, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, let's point out, let's share the blame. Who's more to blame? Our offensive line, I think, was ranked in the top 5 this week.
Top
They
in the
gave up
top 5 in pass and run blocking efficiency and pass protection.
100%. Daniel Jones played pretty well. Malik Neighbors played pretty well. We didn't have a field goal kicker. That's out the window. But we didn't get off the field. We didn't give even Daniel Jones opportunities to actually even play. Like, to me, it's like
It
if
215 yards on the ground given up. It would have been a lot worse if Washington didn't have 3 4-star penalties inside the 5-yard line.
and that's what I'm saying. Where's the blame for who really deserves the blame? Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, we didn't get off the field, right? We didn't stop the run. We gave up 215 yards. Robinson was looking like like Emmitt Smith. Like, he was looking like Adrian Peterson. He was destroying us. They didn't have a lot of big passing plays, nothing like that. They didn't get off the damn field. I mean, guys, where's Brian Burns? Where is he? How much are we paying him?
Brian Burns, $30 million. And them 2 draft picks.
And this is what I'm saying. I'm like, dog, we had one of the worst defensive games ever. And it wasn't like they were sitting there and lighting up the scoreboard. We just could not get off the field. We couldn't stop the run. What did we bring Shane Bowen here for? He was known to stop the run and not give up points in the red zone. Yeah, we didn't give up touchdowns in the red zone, but we were getting run over. Literally run over the entire game. We didn't make
it's like we didn't start playing defense until we got to the red zone.
But there was no stops. It was still giving up points. And in my head, I'm like, bro, the mark of a good defense is to get off the field and not give up points, right? But though we didn't get no 3 and outs. We made Jaden Daniels, a rookie quarterback, not have to give up the ball. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, just watching the game, and I'm sitting there like, bro. I mean, Drew Phillips was a plus. Like, he was great to watch. That guy's a stud. Dexter Lawrence is always great to watch.
He's leading the team in tackles right now.
100%. And this is what I'm saying. But if you look at the overall game, you can't point the finger at Daniel Jones and say, hey, he needs to get replaced. When our defense was terrible. I mean, we haven't been good in 2 weeks. Sam Darnold looked like a Pro Bowler. Jaden Daniels didn't get off the field. These are problems that nobody is addressing in the media, and I'm tired of the New York media sitting there and these bright ideas. Oh, we need to trade for Bryce Young, and I'm sitting there like, what?
So I heard a perspective on the Bryce Young thing today.
Let me hear your perspective.
This morning. This is what I heard on the radio this morning.
Okay.
So they said, since we love Arch Manning as well as you and both of us do,
yeah,
the medias love the Mannings.
Yeah.
The Giant fans love the Mannings, so they want to repeat that Eli thing again.
Yeah.
So their perspective was, we get Bryce Young because he's terrible. Trading a draft pick. Somebody said a 3rd rounder. No.
I had a 3rd and a 6th. That was just crazy. Yeah.
And give him a chance to maybe develop on the Daboll. And then if he's terrible, which they think he's gonna be, then we'll have a top draft pick in 26, and then here comes Arch Manning to save the franchise. Another Manning to save the franchise. That was the perspective this morning on several radio stations.
But these were actually like the analysts saying this. That's what they were saying.
This was an analyst. This was an analyst that said.
So this is what I gather. I feel like people are just insane.
And he's he's like a huge Giant fan. He's like one of the craziest Giant fans.
Who's this
on the radio?
Who's this?
Dave Rothenberg in New York, 98. Oh, well, he's not on 98. It's on 88.
So let me break down this theory. Okay, let's break down. This is one of the most ridiculous theories I've ever heard in my life. We're going to give up capital that we're going to need, possibly if we have to move up in the draft. There's no guarantee we're going to have the first pick, to then predict if if Manning does come out in 2026, because he's not even starting now, so chances are he doesn't need the money. He has a family that probably wants him to go to college. He might leave in 2027. So we're going to take the risk, trade a third and a sixth to get Bryce Young because he stinks, to bring him to continue to stink, and think we're going to keep Dable and Shane, and just the franchise is going to be okay with just hoping that we land in the right spot to get Arch Manning. Guys,
There's there is no way
that makes no
that
sense.
the Giants are gonna tank a whole season.
First of all, it's illegal. Like, you can be investigated for tanking. But this is my thing. I don't like the Bryce Young situation, right? I don't like it at all. I don't like Bryce Young. Yes, he was a first overall pick. Yes, I think he was the Heisman Trophy winner, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Yes, to all those things. But to trade to continue to be bad is absolutely insane to me. You're not even trading with the look of the upside of him possibly being a future quarterback, just for him to be long enough there to draft Arch. It just doesn't make any sense. I keep telling people, like, yo, the likelihood of the situation is this. There is no way that Mr. Mara and Mr. Tisch is going to allow the Giants and not attempt to fix this organization. There's no way that Joe Shane and Brian Dable last to 2026 at this rate. There's no way. The more likely scenario to me, and I think they end up benching Daniel Jones because of the injury clause where we can cut him, and getting rid of him, and then just strengthening up the rest of the roster, getting a high price corner, but going into the draft and maybe getting a kid out of Texas, maybe getting Shador Sanders. I think that's more the likely situation, because economically, and think about it, for even Joe Shane and them, that gives them a better chance to prolong them being there. I'm not a component of going to get 80-year-old Bill Belichick right now, who has not been successful without Tom Brady. Let's call a spade a spade. He's in a situation with no. Like,
it is. Look what he did to Mac Jones.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like, this whole Bryce Young talk makes no sense, especially to give up a third and a sixth. I watched my guy Marshall Green. He does Giants Chat Sports, which I'm a big fan of, but that doesn't make any sense to me. I prefer. I don't want Bryce Young. I don't want Bryce Young. I prefer.
If he couldn't make it work with Dave Canales, who brought Baker Mayfield, certified Baker Mayfield. The resurgence. That's the word I was looking for. Resurgence of Baker Mayfield. Like, Bryce Young is not.
And this is another thing. Baker showed promise when he was at Cleveland. This guy hasn't showed a thing. So we're supposed to trade a third round pick. We just got Drew Phillips in the third round. You think I'd rather give up a Drew Phillips to get a Bryce Young? It just doesn't make sense, in my opinion. Listen, a lot of people hate Daniel Jones. A lot of people cannot stand him. The Giant fans are over Daniel Jones. We get it. Daniel's not our quarterback, whatever. But trading for Bryce Young makes no sense. I'd rather play Drew Lock and just let the season play out how it's going to play out, and then try to figure out later what we're going to do with the quarterback situation. I don't want Bryce Young. It just doesn't make any sense. He's not shown anything. Daniel Jones is actually better than Bryce Young right now.
He absolutely is. And there was something else I heard yesterday on New York radio. Yep. Since Sam Darnold is only on a 1-year deal.
That's another stupid thing.
And J.J. McCarthy is back from injury next year. So they're going to give him the job.
Yeah.
What Sam Darnold for 2 years.
It's not going to happen.
2-year deal. They said 2 years, $70 million. So $35 million a year with the first year guaranteed.
Yeah.
With the first year guaranteed fully, and let him play. But my thing with that theory is, if Sam Darnold's playing like this, we're gonna make the playoffs. So there's no way we're gonna get a top pick and draft Arch Manning.
My thing is this: he was seeing
they would have to trade their whole draft away. Look what the Carolina Panthers gave up for the top pick to draft Bryce Young. They still owe a pick this year, a second rounder.
And this is another thing, guys. What makes you think that Sam Darnold, who was seeing ghosts in the Meadowlands, right, wants to come back here and deal with the same elements he's going to face? And it's a lot more precious. The Giants franchise. Giants are more notably than the Jets. Let's be honest with you. You think he's going to come in and think about it? Going in, if Sam Darnold has the year that he's having at the end of this year, he's going to look for a multi-year deal. I don't believe the Giants are willing to give Sam Darnold. And let's be real, if he has a good year, you're going to look in upwards of 40 to 45 million. We're probably looking at a Kirk Cousins situation. So now we're taking a gamble on somebody that we don't even know at this point, who didn't handle New York well, and he's going to have multiple offers. He's going to get overpaid. What happens in free agency, Josh? They overpay people. That's what happens. That's what happened with Brian Burns. We overpaid Brian Burns. Is he worth what he's worth right now? No.
His stat line is but you wouldn't even believe. But you wouldn't believe that he even played.
And this is my point.
Seven tackles, 0 quarterback hits.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. And you bring up a good point when we were in the car earlier. Joe Shane came out and said, I don't know what GM he was talking to.
Brian Post on Hard Knocks.
He came out and said, Isn't it a good feeling to not have to look for a quarterback? Your quarterback is not slow. He reads everything going on. What type? Daniel Jones knows he's not going to be playing for the Giants next year. Daniel Jones is playing for the next team that's going to give him a shot. He knows that Joe Shane nor Brian Dable believe him. When you're saying stuff like that publicly, we all know it's the inevitable. Daniel Jones is gone. The GM don't want him. The fans don't want him. I mean, this is the fakest. It's like when you're dating someone, right? Or you're married to someone and you literally know it's over, but you're just going to walk through the steps until somebody decides to break loose. And that's what's happening right now.
You cannot go in the media and say that. He probably didn't know the cameras were running because it was a Hard Knocks, but it was a Hard Knocks episode that it was.
You have to know it is. You signed up for this, Josh. How do you not know that film?
No, it was the Bears Hard Knocks. It was the Bears Hard Knocks he was talking. Okay. He was talking to. It was on the Bears Hard Knocks that I saw him.
Still,
you can't say that publicly anywhere. Like he was in a stadium. He was watching the Georgia. I think he was watching the Georgia game with Ryan Post.
Yeah,
and they just caught him on the sideline. And of course, Hard Knocks is going to play that because they 100%. Just had the Giants on Hard Knocks in the summertime. So
it's the inevitable. We all know what's going to happen. So what are the Giants do?
I believe that was a factor in game 1 for Daniel Jones.
It's been
that episode just played.
Forget year 1.
Feeling the pressure. They don't want me now. I'm playing for other. He's playing for 31 other teams right now.
That's what he's doing. 100%. Listen. We all know it's the inevitable. So people are saying, "What's the best situation? Let's trade for Bryce Young." No, let's keep it real. Daniel Jones is going to play his ass off for the rest of the year. He may end up playing better than we expect. Right? We don't want him. I don't care if he throws 40 touchdowns this year. The GM doesn't believe in him. The Giants organization, the fans don't believe in him. We already know. What is the best case scenario? It's not trading for Bryce Young. So please, let's stop trading. Let's stop trying to make change for the sake of change instead of what's best for the franchise, right? He has an injury clause that if he gets hurt and he can't pass a physical, he gets guaranteed on the books $23 million next year, which would force him to be on the team next year, right? The best case scenario is let him play out to week 4 or 5. We're 0-5, bench him the rest of the year, and then release him. And then look to the draft. Joe Shane has already said he's looking for a quarterback, right? So what's the best case scenario for the Giants? Our season's over. It's over. Okay?
The best case scenario is
to sit him.
Yeah. Save that money. Make sure he don't get injured, even in practice.
Josh, the worst part about the situation is that everybody knows it. Daniel Jones, you ever had a job where you walk in, you're like, yo, I'm gonna get fired any moment. I don't want to be here. People are looking at me saying hi that I know don't want me here. They can't stand me. I got this broad talking about me. I got this manager can't stand me. They don't want me here, but they're dealing with me until I say I'm out of here. That's the Daniel Jones situation. He is in a situation where we all know the writing's on the wall. And that's what makes it worse. So why don't be out? Just sit out. We're going to pay you the $40 million for the rest of the year. You're benched. we're going to tank the season. You can't blatantly tank the season, but go put in Drew Lock, go put in Tommy DeVito, and play for the draft. So, and this is another thing. We need assets. Last year, we didn't have enough to get Drake May, right?
Right.
We were the number 6 pick. If we're not drafting from 1 through 5, are we going to get our guy? 1 through 4, are we going to get our guy? Luckily, a lot of quarterbacks are drafted in the first round this year, right?
Correct.
Right? So chances are there's going to be less teams looking for a quarterback. But at the end of the day, if that's the plan, we've already given up on this season. Now the next question is Joe Shane and Brian Dable coming back? You know what I'm saying? And that's something that's crazy. Like you can't. It's almost like Dable can't tank the season without having his job at risk.
Like, yeah, but you know what? He came in and he had a quarterback in place already. They need to give him a shot with his own quarterback and developing his own guy.
Yeah.
So I believe that they will keep him another year, but he's definitely a lame duck on the hot seat when they draft this either Shador or Ewers or Carson Beck. Those are the top 3 prospects right now.
No, listen, and I'm with you. And it's kind of crazy because I do believe that Shane and Dave are going to have another year. But at the same time, it's not in our best interest to win games at this point. I mean, and not to be honest, even at full strength, I don't know how many games we win. We look pretty bad. But
I looked at the schedule, man. We might be 0-8 before we play Washington again.
100%. And this is, and then we play Carolina, I think 2 weeks after. But this is what I'm saying. The inevitable is there with Daniel Jones. We can't trade him, right? Nobody wants him in the organization. The only person that wants him is Mara, right? The fans hate him. The media hates him. You know he doesn't want to be here. You can tell by the way he talks. I mean, it's a sad situation, but trading for Bryce Young would not make the situation better, and especially when we might need those. We might need those picks to maybe move up to get the guy we want. Right. It's inevitable. We're drafting a quarterback.
If we're not in the top 5, we're gonna have to trade up.
Yeah, and this is another thing. We're not going to have a successful season winning 8 games with Daniel Jones. That is over. We'll be going into our 7th year and not winning more than, I mean, we made the playoffs one time with him. It's not in our best interest right now to even play Daniel Jones. And that's where I agree with Marshall Green. It doesn't make sense. If we win enough games, we're going to be stuck in mediocrity for how much longer?
Right. It's been what? We haven't won a Super Bowl since 2011.
2011. I mean, we've had one playoff appearance.
We had one playoff win.
So one with Manning and one with Jones. But listen, it's the inevitables there. We're looking for a quarterback. Why risk even keeping Daniel Jones a year? We're not really giving him the right. We're not really. You know how they say, "Yo, if you play out, they've already moved on." Joe Shane has moved on, and that's another thing. Think about what he said that about without knowing. Let's say he didn't know that, but you know what he did say on camera that rings bells to me. When he didn't sign Saquon Barkley, you know what he said? He said, "We're not paying a guy $40 million to hand the ball off," which basically shifted all of the pressure.
The pressure.
He literally said, "We're not going to sign Saquon. It's not worth it. We're paying you $40 million to be a quarterback that's going to actually have us win." So he literally shifted all of it. And if we don't go nowhere, it's on you.
But do you blame him? This is year 6.
No, I don't blame him. I don't.
This is year 6.
But I think it's telling that he did that. We're not going to continue to bail you out by paying Saquon Barkley this. Saquon's always hurt. We cannot continue this endless cycle of stupidity. So we're going to give you this one last shot. And I think by the latest week 6, if we're 0-5, he's going to go to the bench.
I think he gets benched week 4 in the second half versus the Cowboys because the Cowboys are going to come out and smoke us.
Yeah. No, listen, and this is the thing. Regardless of the outcome of Daniel Jones this year, he is not going to be a Giant next year. That's just so why even play him the rest of the year? It's just that bad. I mean, And listen, it's not all his fault. Shane Bowen stinks in the first couple weeks. He absolutely stinks. I didn't like the hire the first time we did it. It is what it is. But the inevitable, like we have to avoid. I mean, the inevitable is Daniel's not going to be here. They're already looking to that quarterback. Sit him. Play. We don't believe in Drew Lock. He's what, we paid him $4 million. We're going into next year with a new quarterback. And again, you're not supposed to be blatantly tank, but at this point, what are we doing?
The whole league knows. The whole league knows.
Yeah, and you know, the Arch Manning thing is a great. I mean, I want Arch Manning. I love the Mannings, right? I got Eli's or signed game jersey that he gave me. Shout out to him. Signed, but that's like 3 years from now. We're not going to go the next 3 years with Bryce Young. We're just not going to do that. Like, it's just not going to. To me, I think it's going to be fresh blood. And think about it. Bryce Young couldn't handle. He can't handle Carolina. He's going to handle New York? Nah. Go into the draft. Go get your guy, and let's see if Dable could turn this around with his guy. I think Dable's a great coach, but I feel like he was, like you said, forced to have to deal with Daniel Jones. This is not somebody that he picked. He said he jumped at the opportunity to draft Jaden Daniels or Drake May. These are all things that have been said. Never have I heard them say, I think Danny can turn it around. I think we got – no, they said we're going to put it on Daniel. It's on him to make it happen. If not –
yeah, let's go get him a weapon. Let's go get him some weapons and see what he could do.
Pretty much. And that's why I'm sitting here.
What up,
and that's why I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, bro, honestly, I think that's where we're going. But I just hate some of these theories. Like, people just want change for the sake of change. Bringing Bryce Young over here and trading draft capital is not smart, bro. Especially, let's say if somebody else gets the number 1 or number 2 pick. And now we got to coerce them to give. Listen, you know how much we gave up to get Eli Manning? We gave up multiple first-round picks. You know what I'm saying? It might cost that because people know how desperate the Giants are to get another quarterback in there. That's just what it is.
And the Giants going to pay a bigger price than anybody else. I believe that.
100%.
New York,
yeah.
We win. Every decade we've won.
Yeah. But not only that. It's the fact that we need it. Like, what are we going to walk in with next year? Think about it. If
Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito.
Exactly. They're going to be like, oh, you want this guy? You're going to have
Drew
to.
Lock and Tommy DeVito.
This is what I'm saying.
Crazy.
But my biggest fear, though, too, with this shit is reaching for a quarterback. That's what scares me.
And Daniel Jones was a reach.
He was a reach. He was definitely a reach. So to me, I'm like, yo, like listening to like this media and them just wanting us to do a change just for the sake of change, it's absolutely insane. And again, I don't blame Daniel Jones for everything. I'm going to be honest. I really do not blame Daniel for everything. I feel bad for the kid. I think he has talent, but it's not going to happen in New York. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen somewhere else.
My blame for these first 2 weeks, Daniel Jones was terrible week 1.
Yeah.
But the defense was terrible also.
And nobody's
back-to-back weeks. Back-to-back weeks, the defense has been terrible.
Yeah,
they need to show up week 3 because Deshaun Watson hasn't lit up the scoreboard either. And if he lights it up, that means Bowen should be on the hot seat.
No, listen. If there's any week that Deshaun Watson is going to get back to it, it's going to probably be this week. And it's just sad. But, I'm not going to lie, man. Hearing all of the Daniel Jones hate and listen, man, we get it. But please don't do nothing stupid. And the one thing I will give Joe Shane, I don't think he's that stupid. I don't think he's going to sit there and go, let's go get Bryce. And like some of the shit doesn't even make sense. Get him in there. Let him play the rest of the year. He doesn't know the Carolina offense. You think he's going to learn the Giants offense in a week? You think he's going to come in here?
Nah, yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like, and then you're going to base it on waiting for Arch to come? Bro, we don't even know when he's going to come. Like,
right, he's making more money in NIL right now than Drew Lock.
Yeah, facts, bro. Like, I think they play out the season,
and he's not even starting. And he's making more money than Drew Lock in NIL right now.
No, 100%. And that's the thing. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, guys, it's 2 games in. We could turn it around, whatever. the likeliness of it, the way we look, doesn't look like it. You know what I'm saying? I think Neighbors is going to ball out, you know what I'm saying, the rest of the year, regardless who's at quarterback. Um,
I
but
just hope that Neighbors doesn't turn into
Odell,
what Odell turned into.
you know what?
Because I mean, Odell wants to win. He wanted to win. He wanted the
Yeah,
ball. He wanted to win. And that interview with them at the draft at the combine, where they asked him,
yeah,
what do you do when you're not getting the ball? And he said, I'm gonna, I want to get the ball. I want to
yeah,
win.
yeah, yeah.
So I just hope that
You
he
know,
stays with it and he goes with the process and he knows that he got 5 years here.
I'll tell you this: the difference, and it's crazy because I was actually around Odell when all of this shit was going on. I used to go to his house. I would go to the games. I was there when he made the catch. So I seen when Odell came and the difference between Neighbors coming, right? Neighbors was already coming into a situation where he was expected to be the star. And I feel like he's handled that pretty well. I
Yes.
think he hasn't went out there, he hasn't pouted, he's done everything right. I didn't like that interview, like you said, but he came into a situation knowing he was going to be the man. When Odell was there, a lot of people had Mike Evans as the best receiver in that draft. He wasn't really not known like that. It was kind of like a sleeper. And then when he made the catch, he became a superstar. Then things changed. He became more vocal. He became a star. Bro, I used to go to games and there were people surrounding him. Like, because I used to be on the field. So I would be in the end zone and it would be like Michael Jackson just walked in and girls would be crying. Oh my God, Odell. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was like, he got the stardom after he made the play. Neighbors is coming in as a star already. He's already our best player. Odell, when he came, wasn't our best player. Odell was kind of a shock to a lot of people, and then he became a superstar. So I think that it's a little different. I think Neighbors was prepared to be the star. I think Odell became the star, or wasn't the star, and it was a completely different situation.
I loved the I don't know if you heard the interview after where they asked him about that fourth down drop.
Yeah, he put it on himself. Yep.
He said, "I will never. I don't ever want to let my team down."
Yeah.
So that's a good start for him. It is a good
Yeah,
start.
and I think I like Neighbors. She's a dog. I think it's a little different. I will say he's not going to tolerate losing, which I really, really expect. I love the fact that he is not taking a shot at Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones got him the ball right where he needed to. He dropped the ball. He took ownership of it. I like a lot of the things. If you remember, Odell kind of took a little shot at Eli, which was
Yeah, he
to
did.
me
Yeah,
was
he did.
bro, you don't talk about the GOAT for us. You don't do that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's where his downfall went. That's where his downfall
Yeah.
went. He
So
you
I
talk about the
definitely
GOAT. You talk about the GOAT. That's and the New York media loves Eli. So
loves, bro. Bro, my son's middle name is Eli. It's Cameron Eli Velez.
yeah.
So, you know, I definitely get that, but I'm not scared of for some reason I feel more comfortable with Neighbors than I do Odell to be in that regard. I think my son's crying, but I'll get him in a couple minutes. But on that note, this is our intro episode. I want to, just get people to feel we're gonna be dropping. I mean, Josh, if you can do one live a week, that'll be dope just to catch
Yeah,
up
I could do
what
one
we
live a
missed.
week. I
And
could
then
do
one
one live a
regular,
week for sure.
all right, and then we could do one regular episode. And guys, we're gonna start dropping clips of the stuff. Support, subscribe, share it. It's gonna be on iTunes. It's gonna be everywhere. Audio, and we're gonna keep moving forward like that. Josh was definitely dope. Kicking it with you. We're definitely gonna sit here and listen to the rest of this garbage that the New York media is gonna continue to spew about signing Bryce Young, Carson Wentz, Malik Willis. I don't want to hear none of that shit, dog.
It was good to put some of our regular conversations and let other people hear it.
No,
This
absolutely.
is this is basically what it's going. This is what's going to be because we talk about these things all the time, and
Yeah,
now we're going to put it out
might
to
as well.
everybody else.
Yeah, facts. And again, I'm gonna get some guys. A shout out to my guy Joe McCoy. He's already agreed to come on the show, so that's gonna be dope. And we're gonna work. But on that note, Josh, let me go get my son. He's crying before my crazy wife gets in here.
All right, bro.
All right, bro. We
All
gonna
right,
keep.
y'all.
All right.